Hi, Gemini. My name is Audrey Alison. Thanks for joining me for your August 2015 forecast for the month. It's a beautiful day here in California, and I have a new deck that I'm using. The Morgan Greer Tarot deck by Bill Greer. I got this out of the French Quarter. Thank you for tuning in and for subscribing to my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, Audrey Alison, Astrology and Tarot. I really appreciate the support, Gemmy. Okay, on the 3rd of August, Jupiter will still be stationed in Leo at the top of the month, and at 28 degrees, he'll be squaring Saturn, who is in Scorpio, just leaving there, getting ready to leave and enter into Sagittarius. So this square, this restriction, because Saturn is restriction up against the expansion of Jupiter, there's kind of a tug of war happening here between the 3rd house of communications and the 6th house of work and daily routine, and the 3rd house of the vehicle and the 6th house of health. So this it could apply in so many different ways. One example could be when you get up, your car isn't working right to get you to that job, or the information coming in regarding your health isn't making sense to you that day, or you're referred to another. Your primary care physician could refer you to another doctor who refers you to someone else. There's a little bit of frustration on the 3rd. It's not a great day to take direct action. It's an awareness kind of day. On that same day, we're experiencing a grand water trine. And this is involving Mars, who's stationed in Cancer, Saturn in Scorpio at 28 degrees, and the moon, who enters Pisces. That's the trigger. The moon entering Pisces into your 10th house of career. So this grand water trine, this very psychic, emotional time, is connected between the 2nd house of money, the 6th house of work, and the 10th house of career. A lot of awareness this day. It's a downloading day is what I'm calling it in the videos. It's a day for psychic evaluation, the downloading of emotions, and just to be aware of the position you're in the work environment. On the 7th of August, Mercury enters Virgo in your 4th house of home. So a lot of communication, details, information, analysis in the 4th house of home, environment, the house of the mother. There's a 20-day stay with Mercury in Virgo for you, Gemmy. And this is about getting in touch with your foundation, maybe the home you come from, wanting to hear from people in that area, or just, you reaching out to them yourself. Mercury bringing a lot of people into the home as well for 20 days. On the 8th of August, Mars enters Leo. This is the 3rd house of communications for you. This month is about the 4th house of home and the 3rd house of communications. The foundation, the environment, and the siblings, the communications, the local travel, the errands. Mars into your 3rd house is stimulating the need to maybe upgrade the vehicle, purchase another vehicle, but there's energy, drive, and determination and stamina with Mars in the 3rd house. So, and desire, the desire to be around siblings, the desire for local travel, 3rd house. Passionate about how you're communicating, how you're expressing yourself, the 3rd house, expression, and marketing yourself. There's a lot of drive behind this. So for those of you getting businesses off the ground and websites and marketing yourself as an independent entrepreneurial energy, you want Mars in your 3rd house. This is contacts, clients, negotiations, and this is really positive transit for those of you doing something like that. But in general, for those of you who have to speak, public speak, or write for a living, huge for writers getting their work done. There's no writer's block going on when Mars is in your 3rd house of communications, Gemmy. And I know a lot of you are writers out there. On the 11th of August, Jupiter makes his annual transit. He's going to leave Leo and enter Virgo. So this is where a lot of expansion will reside in your 4th house. A lot of Geminis will be moving, changing property, expanding. Jupiter is abundance, expansion, faith, hope, optimism, luck, luck finding a home, luck in the new environment, the expansion of the relationship with your mother. And I'm also feeling that, a lot of your mothers are no longer with us. And for those of you dealing with that, my heart goes out to you tremendously. But this doesn't mean that there's no contact with her. And I feel that Jupiter, being such a higher realm of knowledge and spirituality, there could be contact and communications with the mother figure, even if they've passed. So this 13-month period of time with Jupiter in the 4th house can not only lead to the expansion of a home or an addition or building on something and making something larger in your home environment, but it could also be that your mother is around a lot more often, whether she is on this plane or not. So pay attention to that. I'm fascinated with that. And as a medium myself, I know I don't talk a lot about that on YouTube. I'm considered your astrological advisor and psychic as well as clairvoyant, but I am a medium. And I have been my whole life. I just didn't realize I was when I was a very little girl. But people who have passed do communicate with us on this realm. I'm here to bear witness to that. Now, I don't know if they find it easy to talk to everyone, but as a channel, I know that you have to quiet the mind in order to hear some things. So if you are interested in that kind of work, try to get into a meditative state, relax, even just lay very still, practice your breathing, etc. Messages can come to you in that state of mind. And I don't know why I'm saying this. I haven't mentioned any of that in any other video, but I just felt the need to discuss that with you, Gemmy. Maybe it's because I know you won't judge too much. Okay, now on the 14th, we have our new moon at 21 degrees of Leo. So this is that 3rd house of communications again. This new moon is conjunct Mars, the Sun, and Venus. Venus has been stationed in Leo for a few months, retrograde right now, until the 6th of September, and then goes direct in Leo, remaining through the 8th of October. So your 3rd house, Gemmy, you rule the 3rd house naturally on the solar wheel. So you are communications. You can have 3 to 4 communications at once going on. You're like online, on the phone, then you're typing, you're texting someone, it's like Gemini can juggle, okay? And having all of these personal planets in this 3rd house, you're very busy. You're very busy in August, 2nd half especially. The new moon is there, so if there are new clients that you need to have come into your life, if there are a new vehicle is coming to you too, if you want it, because the 3rd house is the car, and the new moon is the new intention. Also, local travel, great time in the 2nd half of the month to not take it too far, but to travel lightly in your state, or a nice weekend trip would be great. On the 23rd, the Sun enters Virgo, more 4th house energy. You could find between Mercury, Jupiter, and the Sun now in the 4th house, you could find a property that you just can't refuse. And this will be a lot larger, and you could find it for just as much money. Something about it being larger but not more expensive. There's a deal or a steal happening here. And you Geminis will have this desire to really look at their surroundings and make adjustments and to upgrade, because Jupiter is upgrading, baby. On the 27th, your ruling planet Mercury makes his 2nd switch out of Virgo into Libra, into your 5th house of romance or children or creative endeavors, business owners, entrepreneurial energy. We love our ruling planet direct, which he is, so we are smooth sailing and not as tongue-tied as we can be in a retrograde. So really, your romantic prospects look great for those of you online dating, with Mercury in the 5th from the 27th of August through half of September. Great time to start putting yourself out there online, or just going out socially. You're being understood through communications very easily. So people want to talk to you. You just have to be seen. Once a Gemini is seen, that's half the battle. Then, you get them talking, and it's all smooth from there. But this is also great communications with your children, for those of you who have children. And the news of pregnancy as well. Mercury bringing in information or news regarding the 5th house of fertility and pregnancy. On the 29th of August, we have a full moon at 6 degrees of Pisces. And this is the 10th house of career. So there's a culmination and awareness and ending to a career. You could be retiring, a lot of you Geminis. Those of you who aren't at that age yet, there's an awareness. There's something that needs to be seen in the recognition sector, in the social status sector of the 10th house, the highest point on the astrological wheel, your pinnacle right next to the midheaven between the 9th and 10th. There's an ending to a way this career is going. So you could be going from one phase of work to a promotional area to another phase. It just depends on how that will work out for you. I'd love to get to the cards and see what they have to say. I wanted to tell you that I was asked back as a special guest on Goddess Alive Radio, August 9th. I will be giving readings to callers, free tarot tasters. So if you call in early enough, you can get a free reading with me. You want to go to the motherhouseofthegoddess.com, where there's more information about calling in and how you can do that. Give it a few days. I think that she'll have more information up in the first week of August. And you'll see my picture up there, and you can call in if you'd like to. And also, if you'd like just to read with me, I'm at audreyalison.com, and I read all through the week. So, Gemmy, let's see what the cards say for August 2015. Ooh, I love it. And I haven't seen all of these cards yet because I've been blessing this deck and had my crystals and my salts on it while it's getting acclimated to my home. And these forecasts are the first time I'm actually seeing all of the pictures. So I'm super excited. I love the tarot and the artistry. And I love how the illustration goes all the way to the edge and there's no borders on this card. Okay, Wheel of Fortune. What's up, Lucky? Okay, the 5th house, for those of you, I'm sorry I'm so itchy too. My hair and the weather is just very allergy season time. Sorry, but for those of you gamblers, the Wheel of Fortune, Mercury going into the 5th house on the 27th, the house of gambling. It doesn't get luckier than the Wheel of Fortune. But this is a card of Jupiter. And now Jupiter's transit into the 4th house, expansion of home. I want to see what the other cards have to say. King of Cups. This sexy beast came up the last reading. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces male. And intuition, though, and also self-fulfillment is the definition of that card. Let's see what else comes up. I should have said this when I saw the Wheel of Fortune. When I was talking about the expansion of property, this is the card you want to see. The Four of Wands is the ceremony. It's the land. It's the marriage. It's the accumulation of celebration, land to be happy about, property. And the Four of Swords. This is so crazy because these two came up in the last reading together, and I even think he was there. And I've been you see how I shuffle these? It's constant throughout my astrological forecast. I don't think I ever put the cards down. But this is the card of rest. Recuperative rest, thought, meditation. Oh, thank you. When I said earlier, for those of you who want to hear from people who have passed, start to lie down and rest and information. Information are the swords. The swords represent thought, intellect, the mind. See how they just go right, funneling down into him as he rests? that's a message for you, Gemmy. I feel like since I got into that whole trip about talking about how you can channel people who are not here any longer, there is something going on with Gemmies that are needing to hear from other planes, astral travel, awareness, things like that. But the Four of Wands and then the Four of Swords, for every thought, there is an action. Action is the fire, the wands, the staves, and the thoughts are the swords and the mind and the analytical process. So for every idea that you have, for every sword, for every four swords, there's four wands. So you're going through a very creative time with the wands, but this is a very prosperous, lucky time for you. And the Wheel of Fortune was upright, and I just feel like, the wheel's turning, and wheels are the vehicle as well. That third house of the vehicle, the wheels. You might be getting new wheels into this situation between August and September, but fate, transformation, and change. What comes up must go down. He's here to help you. Also, if this applies to some facet of you, perhaps you're a water rising sign, or this is about self-fulfillment and finding answers within and your own psychic ability, your own intuition. The water trine is happening on the 3rd, and that's really about guidance regarding your career and your money and where to put your money, because this is some property and possibly a marriage happening here. You've got a lot to think about, Gemmy. But to start it off with the Wheel of Fortune, I just feel like, you can't stop fate and you can't stop change. Things are moving in the direction you need them to. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Audrey Alison. I'm wishing you a sweet day and a beautiful August, Gemini. I'll see you next month. Bye.